and a very, very warm welcome along, everybody. Happy Thursday. I think it's Thursday today. Hope everyone is doing very, very well today. We are going to be continuing on with the Meganium SuperMON challenge. That is where we left off at the end of last stream, which I think was actually last week. Had quite a busy week, got quite a few videos done, and I cannot wait to share them with all of you. But I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to their November. Welcome into Gemma and Benjamin, by the way. And should we have a little look at our Meganium, see where we left off? I'm assuming we're about to take on the Gyarados. I forgot it was called AOI for some reason. Welcome in, Lord Cooler. Now, please do bear with me today. My anxiety is through the flipping roof. No idea why it is so high. As soon as I clicked schedule stream, started having a mini panic attack. So, I'm assuming I'm putting pressure on myself. Hopefully, we'll get through to the end of the stream and my nerves will have calmed right down. But, you never know. Oh, AOI means blue in Japanese. I've got to be honest, I barely speak English, let alone any other language. I am terrible when it comes to picking up languages. I wish I had that skill, but it is just something I have learnt is not in my wheelhouse. So we've got Body Slam, Razor Leaf, Swords Dance and Earthquake. That's a pretty good set of moves, and we are currently level 30. Should we try the Gyarados? I don't think it'll be too problematic. Fully paralysed, locked into Thrash, and we get through it, as we thought we would. We're starting with a rocket section as well, aren't we, the privileged ones? Just going to check the vitamins while I'm here. How much cash money moolah do we have? Not enough for vitamins, fair. So it's worth a check. It is a nice surprise, Cambe. It's a nice surprise to see you. Yeah, I'm hoping the anxiety really, really calms down. I got discharged from the mental health team yesterday. So, presumably, there's a bit of kickback from that as well. But it might just mean I'm stumbling over my words a little bit more than normal. I'm very glad we're not against the clock on this run, because it means that I can slow everything down, including my brain. I'll be reet. Mental health and I have a complex relationship, should we say. Let's turn off the switch. I've also now got SuperMON prereqs done until the 14th. So we are starting to get a bit of a backlog of SuperMONs. Gonna try and get a couple more done over the weekend. They're averaging around about 2.5 to 3 days to produce at the moment. Yesterday's one was done, I think, over 3 days actually. Now we have no choice but to do the rockets, unfortunately. So we'll try and get through them as quickly as we can. Welcome in, Teddy. I am not doing too badly, thank you. How are you? That's the much more important question. Now, did I remember to get both passwords? I did! So that means we get a chance to body slam a Zubat. We will body slam a Coughing. And get poisoned in the interim, that's fine. And we will Earthquake a Rat. I'm glad you're doing well today, Teddy. Let's get through these last couple of executives. Then we'll have some Electrode and then we'll figure out which gym leader we want to do next. Look, a Ryu. That is true. The very tanky Coughings will give us a lot in our defensive stat experience. I am going to try for the next stream to get a little command so that you can see the stat experience. So I think that would be useful to know. Meganium ain't doing too badly yet. It isn't Game Hook, it's just about getting Game Hook to talk to mix it up, which we do quite a lot, but it's certain layers of complexity. We do have fairly good coverage. In fact, let me get my type checker up, because we'll need that later anyway. I will probably do it via Python. No spoilers, please, for Legends ZA. So the only type combinations that are resisted are Grass Ghost, Flying Steel, and Bug Ghost. And we don't come across any of those in this challenge. I'm not saying you're spoiling, I'm just doing it preemptively. That will be retroarch.cfg in C retroarch64 D1. I was pleasantly surprised with Legends ZA, I've got to be honest. There we go, there's the title card. Ooh, we survived Blizzard. We have more points on the board. I'm very surprised we survived that, honestly. I mean, we do have 100 in SPDF, but still. Don't you be bringing logic into this? Because that's no fun. It's my stream and I say you have to be fun. No fun November. God. Gonna take on a few optionals now as well. Try and get to a more cromulent level for Jazz. You going on strike, Ryu? I feel like Earthquake is a bit of a busted move for Meganium. Try and get one or two more levels here in the sea. Oh no, this is a 6 Pokemon trainer. Back when I first started doing time challenges, this trainer caught me so often and ruined good times when I was getting the Whirl Islands Rare Candy. There we go, a nice and clean level 35. I've always found you fun, Ryu. Let's give the secret potion to Jazz. You're not wrong, there ain't no party like an S-Club party. I was never a big fan of S-Club. I'm hoping that the bulk combined with Swords Dance will see us through for the most part. And we have the mineral badge getting up to 30 points. I don't remember Primeval. We need to probably start prioritizing battling Pokemon with high special attack now to give us some special defense stat experience. Because of course in Gen 2, special is classed as 1 stat, 4 stat experience. And so you need to grab your special defense, your special attack stat experience to boost your special defense. Welcome in, Royal Cayman. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Why is it that when I'm not against the clock, I can do that rock movement every time? That is true. There's no stress for movement without the clock. Still a lot of stress for not playing like absolute garbage. But when have I ever not played like absolute garbage? Arkambe, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Why can't I show that some love? If you have that little claim button at the top, you can receive a membership courtesy of the lovely Kambe. Congratulations to Lord Cooler, to Lil McMill, to Silverline Marie, to Will SSZZ, to Winter's Wolf, and to everybody who got the membership from Kambe. At least it does appear on the top now. If you did get a membership and you are not lurking and feel up to chatting, please do say thank you to Kambe. That is very, very generous. Elixir, he barely knows her. That's me. I like Mega STARMIE. It verges into it's so ridiculous it's good territory. It's got all the legs and then some. I don't know if the meme has been remade yet, but it totally should be. I used to love spinning 11 when I was at the casino because I would always call it Legs 11 and annoy the pigeons, the producers, because I was using bingo terminology. I mean, you're not wrong comparing me to a Mega Victory Bell. Timing out is effort. I can totally see the Mario Sunshine vibes from Mega Victory Bell now that you've pointed it out. I will use Earthquake on flying types if I want to. Just a bit of RNG manipulation, that's all. And if you believe that, you believe anything. I'm very glad we're not playing in a generation later than this where these coughing would have levitate. Mega Victory Bell does look very boingy, doesn't it? Like, make a brilliant bouncy castle design. I enjoy RNG manipulation in Pokémon. I think it's interesting to see what you can do with the game. The good thing is, Gen 2 is very difficult to RNG manipulate, though. So it means that even if I wanted to manipulate these runs, I would not have the skills to be able to. I RNG manipped both of my Gen 4 carts that I've still got hold of. So I could do the trainer ID manip. Nice crit there, probably where it mattered the most. So we are not being defeated by Rival 2. I think Typhlosion got as far as Claire. Django, thank you for the 145 bits. That is very kind of you. If we can get through Claire, then definitely. The queue's being a little bit temperamental, so it may or may not work. We're not doing them completely in order. But I hope you're doing very well today, Django. I don't think I've got the queue open at the moment. Things are as good as they can be at the moment, thank you, Django. A rough mental health day, but what can you really do about that? Like, going back to the whole RNG manip and cheating, I think for a challenge run, I wouldn't consider game hook cheating. But for doing a Nuzlocke, I try and minimize the amount of info I have on screen. Like, I keep it to what is necessary to have the overlay working. So when we do our hardcore Nuzlocks, I never... I've forgotten where we were. When we do our hardcore Nuzlocks, I never know the DVs, I never know the hidden power type. I just keep it to bare minimum. Because otherwise you take the fun out of a Nuzlocke. Because the Nuzlocke is not supposed to be easy. I mean, the thing is, with GameHook, you can really just cheat anything. For instance, now, would you look at that? That's a shiny. Or would you look at that? That's another shiny. Or would you like shiny with your shiny? But what's the point in doing that? I know we got incredibly lucky there. 3 back-to-back shinies in a version where we can't catch Pokémon. Their knees are shy because, like me, they have a little scar on their knee. Crits are mean. Need to buy some more heals in a moment. I'm not mean, I'm just average. Oh, you twit. That was the one thing I was hoping wouldn't happen. Well, I'm definitely not median in anything, that's for sure. I think median is middle, mode is most common. And then mean is the what everyone thinks of as average. I remember something from, like, year 7 maths. don't really do middle schools in this country. I went to infant school, then junior school, and then secondary school. I actually went to a grammar school of all things. I don't know how I cheated my way into one. I don't think the soft sand's worth the 10% boost when we've got Swords Dance. But if this is close... See, that's... Oh, buggeration. We'll have to go and get another Peruscure Berry. I will say it was a state-funded grammar school. It wasn't private. Might grab the soft sand because I think with Swords Dance... Actually, I suppose if we're using a Peruscure Berry, we won't be able to soft sand. Never mind. I do not have a fancy title. Why not? Because I'm from Manchester, for goodness sake. Now, we don't want to give the Peruscure Berry until after we've beaten up Lola's Pokemon. Dragonair might be my least favourite Pokemon to come up against in this run. That is true, you can become one for $28.95 plus PMP. Best case scenario here is that we end up getting a Gen 2 miss for Thunder Wave so we can double Swords Dance. We'll have to see if that happens. It does not. We are through Claire. But we are not guaranteed the badge and the points yet. I'm not J-Rose. It's actually kind of offensive to call somebody another runner's name like that. That was perfect luck with Kingdra. $28.95, yeah. It's how much everything costs in this country. We have standardized pricing. Welcome in, RD Climb. I hope you're doing very well today. We are doing a challenge that was originated by somebody over on my YouTube comments section. This is the SuperMON challenge. So what we do is we grab a Pokémon, we give it 4 moves at the very beginning of the challenge, we give it a level cap, and we see just how far we can get. Sometimes we get quite far, other times, more often than not, we end up failing miserably in the early game. And to help us traverse the overworld, we have replaced the HMs with items. Where are those extra pells? There they are. Who do we want to take on? We can probably take on her. She's double STARMIE and Nidoqueen, isn't she? So she should be easy. We'll do this Fisher here as well, with a double Quillfish and Sea King. Because we've got Earthquake for them. One more level for the level cap. We have to face Big Beth and her Rapidash. So we're not going to bother with anyone else. You might want to throw in a few more allegedlys there, Kanbei. Really cover your back. Like, Parasect would be terrifying if it had anything to back up the Swords Dance with. There we go, we're at the level cap. So let's use that last Super Potion. We have enough Elixir to do that. One Super Repel and grab the HP up for Karen. Alright, let's see if we can get another couple of points for defeating the final rival battle. Leads with Sneasel. Well, Earthquake, Furicutter does a whole 5 HP. Are you going to confuse us? No, you're just going to go straight for Wing Attack. Didn't get burnt. And then the rest of the team should have low enough defenses that we don't need to worry. Straight into the hill. We'll buy a few full restores. Now, what do we have in our bag? We don't currently have a Bitterberry. That's what I was checking. See if we had a Bitterberry, and we don't. So let us use Missing Note to fly to Violet. We'll grab the pair of them. One for Will, one for Karen, and then, just in case we think we need it for someone, maybe Koga. We'll get the gold berry. So let's have a think now about the league. What is going to happen? Will is going to lead with Xatu that will confuse Rayos, so we can set up one Sword Stance for free. And then Xatu should hopefully go down with a Body Slam. We have Razor Leaf to pivot to for the Slowbro. We can Body Slam the Executor and it doesn't really have anything too hard hitting for us. The other Xatu should go down and Jinx has no defense, so she should go down. Will leads with Venomoth. Again, can confuse you straight off the bat. So I think we brute force until we get to the Fortress for Will. We can set up 3 against Bruno very easily. Karen, we're going to HP up Bitterberry. And then if we get to Lance, hopefully we get the win. Let's see if this strategy will hold any weight. He went for Psychic turn 1. Interesting. Venomoth might be second for Koga. Will was free. He does lead with Ariados. He leads with Venomoth. What are the chances? Interesting that Crobat outspeeds us, so we'll just paralyze it. Koga was easy. Bruno, title card, please. Bruno was how you would expect. Now there is a chance we do. Let's use an elixir actually, I forgot that. There is a chance we go down to Karen. Sand attack failed, and we had the Bitterberry for the confusion. But she managed to get another one off. I should have gone for Earthquake there, really. We are losing control of this battle. I think we're gone. Yep. I do just want to double check whether Earthquake would have been the play, or whether it would have still been a range. it would have still been a range. I feel a little less bad about that now. If Stunspore got the Gen 2 miss, we would have won. But it did not. So we didn't win. What's the date today? Is it the 6th of November? We did make it to her penultimate Pokémon. Welcome in, Chad. Never apologise for being late. So let us now hopefully have the leaderboard without any spoilers. We have a new leader for stream. Meganium is taking the top spot. Ursaring in second, Nidoking in third. Yeah, it wasn't even close. You get 4 points for each league member, and we defeated 3 of them. Swords Dance is a great move. Now, let's take a look at the queue, shall we? Please don't remind me that I misclicked with Typhlosion. Oh yeah, Meganium absolutely can, and I think we had the right moves. I think it was just bad luck, honestly. I'm going to check my prereq schedule. Christmas 2026 we're running Meganium's SuperMON challenge. Now, Ancient Power covers the same as Earthquake, doesn't it, really? Yeah, except Charizard, but a Swords Dance Body Slam will get the job done for Zard. So I don't think we would change anything about how we did Meganium there. I think we've just got to roll for the RNG luck at Karen. But I don't think we needed RNG anywhere else in the course that run. Maybe Will would have been harder if he didn't go for Psychic turn 1. Because we can set up 3 Swords Dance on the Gyarados easily enough and sweep Lance. Why don't you download the patch and try it yourself, Ryu? See if 2 Swords Dances is overkill. It might be, it might not be. Definitely playing it safe with Will, though. The patch, by the way, is now available. Should have mentioned that at the beginning of stream. We do have a playable patch. If you get the time, I would be genuinely... It's not me being snarky or anything. I would genuinely be interested to know if Two Swords Dances is overkill. Because that would then mean Will is a safer battle. Oh, the joys of Linux. I have to use Windows, unfortunately, because GameHook is not Linux compatible. Ooh, a pizza sounds like a very good idea. But who shall we run next? Twitch, I'm going to run a couple of minutes of adverts so we don't get pre-rolls while we figure out. I would love nothing more than to be able to ditch Windows. But I've got too many bits and pieces, especially with the content that I make, that rely on Windows. I never had a Windows phone, but I heard they were good. Now we do need to figure out who we're running next. You can see that the overlay for SuperMON is a little bit ramshackle. So it's currently broken. But it won't be broken once we get our starter. I really need to learn the Gen 1 order. I can't bloomin' find the Pokémon. I know my reading comprehension isn't great, but still, goodness me. Oh, you want it higher? That's why we have rewind. Yes, definitely the anime English, not the French. Now, I'm going to throw out a learn set suggestion that I think is a fairly obvious one. Surf, Psychic, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. What do we think? Interesting you've not put Surf on there, Benjamin. We've got Surf, Ice Beam, Light Screen, Thunderbolt. We have choices here. So for Falconer, we could use Ice Beam. Bugsy, Ice Beam will do the job again. Whitney, I reckon Stab Surf or Stab Psychic would do well. Psychic for Morty and for Chuck. Price, Surf would be handy. But then Psychic would probably get the job done because we resist. We will definitely need Ice Beam for Claire and Lance. So Ice Beam's 100% on the learn set. For Will, Ice Beam for his Xatu. That's where Thunderbolt would come in handy for the Water Psychics. My big worry is that we get Perish Songed by Misty. I know we're thinking very far ahead here. Can Bruno be beaten without Psychic? Probably. How would Thunderbolt work for Jazz? She has 2 electrics and a ground. Surf would make Jazz easier. I'm not sure we need Recover. Because we're not against the clock. We don't need to worry about going and healing between battles. I hope you're on the mend, Benjamin. Hope it was nothing too serious. I don't think we need to boost Surf. It's a 95 base power move. And we've got 100 in special attack. And a lot of the things that are weak to Surf are quad weak. Or have no Spadef. And my worry is turn 1 is normally a status move. So we'll end up being paralysed or confused or sent to sleep if we use that first turn to set up a rain dance. If we don't get to the end today, I want to do STARMIE as a video fairly soon. So why don't we try the 4 offensive moves now? And then if we end up finding that we're not using one, then we can set up with Rain Dance and figure out which move out the other 4 we're not using. I think we're going to have to freeze hack Snorlax. I don't even think a Rain Dance boosted Surf's going to do that much. That's what I'm thinking, Fish to the Freeze. Ideally, we'd run a physical move for Snorlax, but we don't have a physical move that's going to be strong enough in this list. Oh, that is a good point, whether countries outside of the UK, the US, and maybe Canada use centimeters. Or we could try attack and have a bit of fun. Like, if we try attack the Snorlax, that could work. Exactly, not all Pokemon can beat Red. That's the point of the challenge. Tomorrow's video, slight spoilers, we're not beating Red. Because Tri-Attack is what? Base, 80 power, with a 20% chance of a status. Think it could be a good idea, you know. Because it'll run neutral on anything that resists water. I'm going to trust my gut instinct here. It is a risk it for a biscuit choice. But I do like the risk it for a biscuit choices. Had an idea for a new channel emote now as well. I want to have a Teddy Ursa eating a biscuit. So we can have a risk it for a biscuit. Why am I trying to heal? We don't need to heal. I was very sleep deprived when I made that Snorlax wall. That and the Pikachu one I don't particularly like. But that was the night of, well, one of the nights of not going to sleep for like 40 hours. I went onto Adobe stock images and found the most plain and symmetrical wall texture. I'll probably tweak the channel emotes in the next couple of weeks, if I remember. I love having Ice Beam early on in the challenge. Ice is a brilliant typing at the beginning of the game. When I get pizza, which is very rare because it's very expensive, and I can't just get a frozen one because they have cheese, I normally just get double chicken, double pepper on a tomato base. Ice Beam is definitely the most spammable move in Gen 2. .26 speed already. First gym leader, Falkner, flying type specialist. £17 for a pizza is still expensive. 5 points on the board, 5% of the way to the end. I don't want to tempt fate, but I've got a good feeling about this run. I have no idea what I'm eating tonight. I do have a Tesco wrap in the fridge that needs eating today. I have no idea what food I've even got in at the moment. Madrash and chips, a very nice idea. Generally these days, if it doesn't fit in my air fryer, I don't cook it at home. One lantern, one escape rope. We had the American English dub here in the UK, so we got the same noises. We weren't subjected to the French STARMIE, thank goodness. We did get Brock's trusty drying pan. British dub would be brilliant though. You're not wrong. Question is, who would voice whom? The good old jelly donuts. I could see Misty being a Geordie character. Cheryl Cole could voice her or something. Completely agree about Tom Felton being Gary. That's a bit out of left field, but yeah, Joanna Lumley for Brock. Kat Deely for Ash. Brian Blessed for Professor Oak, I think would work. Attenborough for Oak would work as well. Actually, Brian Blessed would make a brilliant Blaine. Pedro Pascal as James, Alan Rickman as anyone. Yeah, Alan Rickman would make a good Giovanni. This might be a bit out of left field, but Carol Vorderman as Sabrina. I think that's the first time anyone has thought about Carol Vorderman in the last 10 years. Cilla Black as Officer Jenny. Yes. She would totally find a way to inveigle her surprise, surprise catchphrase in. You know what? I could see Gordon Ramsay as Meowth. Does anyone have any contacts at Nintendo, the Pokémon Company, the BBC ITV, Channel 4? So we can pitch this. I mean, I'm not quite sure how we'd be able to get, like, Alan Rickman and Cilla Black, seeing as they've both passed away. But we could try. I think I'd rather, like, piss off Nettles than deal with an AI version of famous actors. Having said that, they did do an advert for prostate cancer back in the early 2000s with a very, very primitive AI version of Bob Monkhouse to raise awareness, because that is how he passed away. My brain missed a line there, and I just saw Alan Rickman threatens to spoon Ash. Also, I've been playing this run on autopilot, and I didn't realise we were this far already. It is getting into French STARMIE territory, you're not wrong. Don't need anything from there yet, but we will later. I could see Zoe Wanamaker being Lorelei. Welcome in, Matt. We do get Tri-Attack. It's an egg move, I believe, in Gen 2 for STARMIE. Or is it Gen 1 TM? It's one or the other. I can't remember what order I put them on the list. Oh, it can't be an egg move because it's genderless. So yeah, Gen 1 TM is how we justify Tri-Attack. 20% for a Tri-Attack status. You could do Delia Smith as Delia. .75 in physical attack is more than cromulent enough. Please, no spoilers. I haven't been able to see the trailer yet, so I don't want anything spoiled. No worries, you weren't to know that there were no spoilers. I did get a Switch too. I was able to get it on credit over 12 months. There's no such thing as cheap with the Switch 2. I'm gonna plonk my OLED Switch on some kind of selling service. to try and recoup some of the money back for the Switch 2. Good morning, Daniel. I hope you're doing very well today. Another few points on the board. That is true, the Switch 2 will end up being the cheapest on the market. It was the Animal Crossing announcement that tipped me over the edge for getting a Switch 2. I always said if Animal Crossing New Horizons in particular gets something special on Switch 2, I will absolutely be getting it. Playing some Dark Souls 2, I wish you the best of luck. 3DS's screen is too small for me these days. I'm very glad Switch 2 has the bold text accessibility option, because it means that even with my dodgy eyesight I can read it handheld. $1,000 for Xbox Ally? Absolutely not. I need to get new glasses. Yeah. It's the cash money moolah that I don't want to spend on them. I could have seen a universe there where we just missed every other attack and Vaporeon chipped away at us. My trouble with getting glasses online is you don't know how they're going to fit on your face. That's a very good point about, like, investing in a console when you don't have much time. It kind of doesn't feel worth it then. I have no idea, because I copied this from my Nuzlocke code and I did that about 18 months ago. So I can't remember whether I did special cases for the different texts. We are still very much on early version of the code for this though. Still a lot of stuff I need to clean up. Version 1 of the SuperMON patch was always going to be get it playable. And then version 2 is going to be the polish update. the exact same thing with the challenge run patch, though. Nope, that's not the Pokémon. I wanted to sell it for money. The beauty of all TMs not working is it means you can just sell them. So you might as well pick them all up because it could give you an extra vitamin later down the line. Let us now take on rival number 3. Well, that was easy. $17 points to our name. And that means we can go into gym number 4. That would be difficult to do, but very doable for Tri-Attack. Because it would just be flying press, but slightly more complicated. I don't think we'll need the mint berry here, but we'll hold it as a precaution. Making it random would be fun. Yeah, we didn't need the mint berry. $20 points, 1/5 of the way there. We're actually on pretty good time for a fast challenge run as well. Like a fast timed run. But we are not against the clock on this one. Get the burly man's phone number. I cannot wait to get some PP ups in this thing as well. I think we need it. Probably plonk 2 in Psychic, 1 in Ice Beam, and 1 in Tri-Attack when we get all of them. So the only downside to this run so far is our very low PP. He does have his own rental Abra. I think for the early gens, at the very least, the rival shows up more for non-battle scenarios than in most of the others. Maybe Gen 6, depending on what you count as an encounter. And then Gen 8 is like, no, you're seeing the rival every 3 steps. The challenge, or should I say the timed challenge run patch, got an update this week as well. So I've added a couple of features that Snowy requested. And there is now an option to hold B to disable wild encounters in the grass. Water Psychic is a very strong type combination in Johto, I've come to realise. Let's take on Chuck. Mintberry came in clutch right at the very end. I mean, if you were ordering from Pizza Hut, Kanbei, there's a chance the site will shut down. So they went into administration, didn't they? That AWS crash, break, failure, whatever you want to call it, really did just expose how much of the internet is reliant on one company. And that is scary to think about. It is a huge problem. I mean, I couldn't turn my light bulb on in here when it happened. Did I use that on Psychic? Yes, I did. That's fine. We were able to afford 7 calcium there. So we are now at the limit for calcium in our Pokemon. And we currently have 26,990 stat experience in our special. The queue, let's see, is it going to work? Well, while you're doing the queue, I just need to run to the loo, actually. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to give my hands a quick rest for just a couple of minutes, because I can feel my thumb getting a bit angry at me again. So we shall take just a couple of moments. I'm not going to go on a BRB screen or anything. We can have a think actually about who we want next. I'm manually editing the queue at the moment. So, if we do exclamation mark Q now, I should have fixed that. In the last couple of days, I've done the 1,000 battles that you need in Legend ZA. And I've also done like 3 SuperMON runs in the last week. So, I've been holding my controller a lot, so I do need to be careful of my thumb. Twitch, you're getting a couple of minutes of adverts again because pre-roll is about to fall off. Ooh, Easter eggs are glorious. I cannot wait for January. So the Easter eggs are back in the shops. There's something about Easter egg chocolate, it just tastes better than regular. And I'm thinking, even though I think we'll get very far with STARMIE, who do we want to run afterwards, if we've got time? I've got to be honest, I am terrible at the self-care, so I don't use any kind of products. I probably should, but it's about getting my brain to remember it while I'm at a shop, and then remembering when I've got them to actually use them. On the upside, I've stopped eating quite as much shite as I used to. I've been having vegetables for the first time in my adult life. It's been feeling good. My safe food at the moment is sausage mash, a big load of petit pois peas, and a big load of broccoli. That's like me, I will always forget to take them. I've learned that I like the iron-rich veg, which makes sense because I am naturally anemic, so my body will crave them. I've started planning Christmas dinner already because I'm that much of a big greedy bugger, and roasted veg are part of the equation. You just reminded me, Benjamin, actually, I need to take my Crohn's medication. They're trying me also at the moment on a very low dose of cocodamol. What the hell? I wasn't expecting that. Ice Beam did nothing on that Gyarados. That did come across a bit snarky there, Benjamin, I'm not going to lie. As I have mentioned, quite often, it's about trial and error. Tone does not come across, unfortunately, on text chat. It's one of those, I wish there was a way to get tone a little easier. I'm speechless, Alajango, with the words that have just fallen from your mouth. If you want to pop out, do it in private. Don't apologise for it. Intent is what matters. Always has done with me. Like, if you didn't intend to be snarky, it's not an issue at all. 8th place. I reckon, you know, we'll do a redo of STARMIE, either on stream or on a video soon. Yeah, the purple site is the NSFW one. Right, let's take a look at the queue. Who do we have? Ursaring is not a SuperMON. Ursaring got murdered by Will. Very fair. If you're Canadian, I will let you off with apologising. Yes, the level cap comes into play. If you can't over-level, then Ursaring suddenly becomes a little difficult. Now, I do need to very quickly fix something on one of the branches of the SuperMON challenge because It's a slight error. That I noticed in recording last night. Because the league were awarding double points. And in case we want to run Salamence today, I do need to get that all up to date. Right, Salamence should be updated now. I'd love to visit Canada at some point. Thank you for the 4 months, Food Tubes. That is very, very kind of you. I hope you're doing very, very well. And welcoming Comrade Oddball as well while I was doing a little bit of coding. Yes, the in quotes worst starter did very, very well. We're trying to figure out who to run next. I think it's going to be Arbok. Let's see, do the graphics work for Arbok? Yes, they do. I've got to be honest, at the start of stream I was feeling pretty rotten. I had all sorts of anxiety issues. But as stream has gone on, I'm feeling a lot better. The patch now, if you do want to play this Food Tubes, is available. Here's our learn sets for Arbok. The question is, what do we want to have? Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, Double Team, Rock Slide. That's an interesting initial thought. So what would that be? Poison. Dark. No, it wouldn't be dark. Rock. And ground. Let's do that in the correct one, shall we? So that would give us neutral for everything. Yeah, Crunch is special. And it's Gen 4 for the Fangs. Yeah, Glare is only 75% accurate. It just feels like higher. Because when the AI uses it, it never misses for some reason. Or at least that's how it seems. Welcome in, buddy. It's going well. We're about to do our third run of the day. I think 65 in special attack is still good enough to consider Crunch. On stream, nobody has finished yet. We do have a couple of videos that have gone over the line. Screech is only 85% accurate as well, though, which is the issue. Crunch would help for Morty, and it's also super effective against Psychic. which is one of the types we're weak to. $50 points meant we got all the way up to Karen. We can Earthquake Mortar, you're not wrong. At the moment, I've only very rushed the patch onto the website. I'm going to put full rules and info on the SuperMON challenge on the website as well. Rock Slide could be good for Lance. That is true, Food Tubes. If not Crunch, what else? Rock Slide would be super effective against the Xatu as well, for Will. Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Sludge Bomb seem to all be... We all seem to be in agreement about those. I do think a special move would be a good idea. I'm going to throw Giga Drain out there as an option. Because Giga Drain would be quad super effective against the Rock Grounds and Rock Water. It would regain HP and it would also be neutral to Steelix. Because Steelix is part ground. 5 PP is fine. We can heal as often as we like. We're not against the clock, so PP isn't as much as an issue. Because say we get hit by Iron Tail and it does a fair amount of damage, we can then regain some of the HP with a neutral Giga Drain and potentially still be in with a shout of getting through Jazz. PP Max doesn't exist in Gen 2. We have to use the PP up. Bin Skip is in SuperMON patch. It's a fork of the Challenge Run patch. YOLO Fisher. If we could overlevel, I'd totally run Fisher. Should we give it a go with Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Giga Drain? Fisher would be hilarious. We also have to remember it is still very early days for this type of challenge. We don't know what the meta's going to be yet. No hidden power, no return. They're the two universal TMs that get you out of too many pinches. Exactly, PP isn't as important when you're not relying on not healing so much. Although the fact that we only have a grand total of 35 PP isn't great. What an interesting colour for the back sprite. get that horrible bright palette off screen as well. Sludge Bomb is a good move. They were definitely creative using that pair of colours on Arbok. It does work. No, we're not modding in PP up. Because then that would make the league easier. Because PP management does still come into the league. I will put it as an option. If somebody can plonk it in the Discord, I will make it an optional item that you can receive. I think that is possible in Gen 2. I'm fairly certain there's a tutorial on GitHub to do just that, Food Tubes. Arbok gets Skull Bash by virtue of having a brain, maybe? Somewhere in there. And Gen 1 being very lax with its TM distribution. Coil would have been a good move for this Arbok. One of the things I'm planning on doing is if a Pokemon is just constantly getting walled, I will bring in a later gen move to try and help it. Gen 2 does have elixirs, yes. So there are 3 elixirs that I can route in for the start of the game before Kanto. I don't think it looks as good as you'd hope, Food Tubes, but I do know that there is a tutorial that does something similar at the very least. Yes, so the learn set is anything that you can legally get in Generation 2 for your Pokemon. So that does include Time Machine moves. It's our first Rock Slide miss and our second Rock Slide miss. %90 accurate never fills 90% accurate. I know it is ostensibly just one long tail and it doesn't get Iron Tail. Hit the level cap now for Birdkeeper Abe, Birdkeeper Rod. Arbok is massive. There we go, Zephyr Badge acquired, first 5 points on the board. 2 for the rival, 3 for the first gym. I might have an option to get the bike from the beginning in SuperMON as well. Because we're not against the clock. That I wouldn't find cheaty. Noctowl's the next SuperMON I'm doing as a prereq. I don't know how Houndoom would do. If we get access to the type boosting held item, they are allowed, yes. The only things that aren't allowed are return and hidden power. And obviously using items in battle. Yeah, so we can get the poison barb. After we've done Sprout Tower, actually. Yeah, Houndoom does go into the Jinx category there. Of being very much a glass cannon. I cannot remember the day of the week for the poison barb. I think it's Friday, but I could be wrong. Flamethrower and Crunch right off the bat will be very good for Houndoom when we run it. If we can one-shot everything, then we'll be absolutely fine with Houndoom. I'm just going to double-check what day it is for the poison barb. It was Friday or Friday. I remembered something. Houndoom is in slow, yes. For its sins. Yeah, Karen and Lance probably would be walls for Houndoom. Lance more than Karen, and maybe Claire as well. It's not even necessarily the Kingdra, it's getting paralysed by the Dragonair that's the issue with Claire. Because if you're a fast attacker, paralysis really does spell game over for you. Just have a little drink of an Onyx there. I don't think, because we got a level cap, Crunch would one hit, but we can get the black glasses from Dark Cave to try and help. It'd be tight either way. Oh, that's legit. We were joking about Game Hook earlier with shinies. The trouble is, I've hard-coded it so you can't catch anything. Ain't that a kick in the nuts? I'm speechless. Doesn't happen very often. I don't know if I've got a clip command, but I want to clip that on Switch. A shiny rock that we will never, ever be able to catch. I do think we need a shiny Geodude as a channel emote now. Well, we can all say goodbye to Geodude. It was nice knowing you, Geodude. My sister got a green Zubat on, I think it was my Leaf Green cartridge, when I lent it to her for a week. Back in like 2004, 2005. At least we got to see the shiny. Thank you for the clip, Food Tubes. Exactly, we do have proof now. Uncatchable shinies are the worst. It's been about a year, actually, since we've seen a shiny in Gen 2. Which, considering how much Gen 2 we see here on the channel, kind of amazing. Although, don't take this as confirmation and don't take this as gospel. Might be going back to Gen 3 in the new year, now that I've made the challenge run patch for Emerald. Yes, Slowpoke is more purple in ZA. Sludge Bomb is equivalent 148 base power at the moment. Yes, I'm absolutely 100% definitely going back to Gen 3 in the new year. They were releasing a trailer today, but please no spoilers about it. I want to watch it after stream. This isn't Bugsy. I love having a 4x super effective move for Bugsy. 9 points on the board. Level cap goes up to 20. Yep, just yeet some rocks at a bug, and we win. Another heal. And we'll start making our way through the bloody forest. Still salty about that Geodude. I will be for a while. Barring Ancient Power, which has no PP, accurate rock moves were not a thing in early gens. Arbok did get dealt a short straw, really. Yeah, 65% sounds about right for Rock Throw in Gen 1. Just flexing on these Pokemon by using Sludge Bomb on them. I like Dreadnought. Well, I like Chewtle, I don't like Dreadnought. It's... No, it is Chewtle I don't like. The small one's Chewtle, isn't it? I don't like the one whose head is too big for its shell. It's good to get those out of the way early. I'm going to grab the Quickie C in this one. Hardstone is Arthur of Thursday. Can grab it after we've done the Pseudo Widow. Yes, you still earn stat experience, but it doesn't get calculated until you level up. And now let's take on Whitney. I will have a look at Lance's learn set after this battle. So now all the stat experience that we gained, now that the level cap has gone up, next time we level up, that will get factored in. That way you're not able to get unlimited stat experience. We did poison the cow. But that way we're not allowed to get unlimited stat experience and get really overpowered. So Lance's Gyarados has Flail, Rain Dance, Surf, Hyper Beam. His Aerodactyl has Wing Attack, Ancient Power, Rock Slide, and Hyper Beam. Welcome in, Durley. I hope you're doing very well today. He doesn't have illegal moves, he just has an illegal Dragonite. Because it's under-leveled. We do have an underleveled snack. That's why I'm not calling Lance out on these runs. There is the Hardstone. I think I know the song that's playing on the stream output. There's only so much of the same music I can listen to because I have the same overlays open for prereqs. So I just listen to Spotify these days. I think that's the most damage a Lickitung's ever done in Generation 2. Not looking forward to the Lickitung run when we eventually get round to it. There's the bike shop call. So one elixir is living in here. I know we were talking about elixirs earlier. First one we can get our hands on is right there. Yes, it's the elixir that's bait. I wouldn't write off Flareon for this kind of challenge. I think Umbreon might have the bulk to survive most things as well. Didn't mean to get hit by Norman here. Yeah, Umbreon's going to be a lot of stalling. The healing is based on the time of day in Gen 2. Remember, we can get Gen 1 TMs for Umbreon, because it evolves from Eevee, and Eevee can come from Gen 1. Let's take on rival number 3. I like how he sees that we use Earthquake, so he sends out his quad weak second. It is getting dark already, isn't it? Oh, we never got the hammer. Raikou should be a good run. Suicune will definitely be a good run. Because water and ice on their own can get you really far in Gen 2. It is nice having a set of runs where we don't have the option of hidden power. I don't know if the beasts can learn Earthquake. Let's take on Morty now. Ah, boo. Morty was easy and we get to cling on to the Minceberry for Chuck. They get dig. Interesting. Honestly, that sounds like a good way to learn a sequel. Hello, Jazz. Are you lying about Amphi again? Yes, you are. Some very delicious attack stat experience from that battle. Get some more good attack stat experience off these Doduo. Oh, that was so close to a one-shot. If we were holding the poison barb, it would have been a one-shot. I was a little bit worried about the Kimono Girls, hence leaving them so late. So as we've seen many a time with Red, Espeon can hit like a truck. I'm going to take a quick break for my hands after we have done Chuck as well. I never learnt coding when I was younger. All my coding experience has been in my 30s. Time for Chuck. He crit with Surf and then didn't try and finish us off. Scammed that win, really. Exactly, we are back to where STARMIE was. I remember one of my friends using a SQL database in the early mid-2000s. Like 2005, 2006-ish. No, actually, we will take on Camper Todd. God, 1973 is a very old thing. We are now getting further than STARMIE did. Yeah, I'm going to put my controller down for just a moment. I've got to pace myself. I think Lance also works on the new Football Manager game. From what I've seen, I've not got it myself, but the reviews I've seen have been hot garbage for Football Manager. Switch, by the way, I'm going to give another two-minute ad break. Pre-rolls are back. But yeah, the reviews of Football Manager have been not the most glowing reviews, especially considering they didn't release a game last year. See, I've never been a great fan of sports games, so it doesn't really affect me too much, but sports games really aren't the best. I've noticed from the bits I've played. They all seem to have a lot of cash grabs in them. I see your FIFA 96 and I raise you Super Soccer on the SNES. Microtransactions and online live service games are the bane of my life as someone who likes single-player games. Anything these days that's a remaster or a remake, I just think is going to be a cash grab. It might be cynical of me, but that's the way I feel now. Look at the GTA Legacy Edition as well. Oblivion is definitely the exception to the rule. I didn't get into Oblivion, but as far as I know, that remake is kind of like the pinnacle of what a remake should be. I never got into Advance Wars either. Is that the one on DS you had to play it right-handed? Because I think my friend had Advance Wars and I couldn't get into it because it was a little bit biased against left-handed people. I'm still holding out hope for more Lemmings games. I've never played Fire Emblem either. For somebody who plays video games for a living, I've played a remarkably small amount of them. Right, let's get these 2 passwords. If it ever gets a re-release on Switch, I might think about picking it up. Because I wouldn't be able to play the DS version anymore. Screen's far too small. Very fair, I will obtain the originals. I don't think we need to elaborate more than just obtaining. thought we were going down to that cloister then. Because of confusion nonsense. Why doesn't that surprise me, Kanbei? You're not wrong. It isn't a very hard task. Another point acquired for doing the rocket section. Let's take on Price. And we get through Price as well. Now we're going to take on a few swimmers, try and get our levels slightly higher. STARMIE got beat up by the Gyarados. No, the Gyarados. I'm not surprised Arbuk's gotten this far yet. Meganium is still number one, yes. Oh, she's not in there. There's one shopping channel, the jewelry channel over here, that does Black Friday like once a month. Not according to the jewelry channel. Black Friday is once a month. Good luck with work, Kanbei. Alright, shall we see if we can take on Jazz? We knew the Magnemite were going to be easy anyway. Oh, she crit! Jasmine on the secret potion. We'd have won that without the crit. That's so annoying. And we get to the end of another SuperMON run. Eighth place overall for Arbuck. Slightly ahead of STARMIE. I don't think I've got it in me to do another run today. So I shall call it there. We've still got 10 Pokemon in our queue, though, for the next SuperMON stream, which will hopefully be over the weekend, providing I can get all my pre-recorded videos done in time. If not, it will be Tuesday next week. So with that, we're done. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for tuning in today. If you did enjoy the stream, please do leave a like. Thank you to Alejandro for the bits over on Twitch, FoodTubes for the resub, and to Kanbei for the 5 gift memberships. I hope you'll have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you all very, very soon.